5 ways British and American bedrooms are different. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the differences between an American and a British bedroom. Now I can't imagine that there's going to be that many differences, but let's find out.
One of the most common bedroom differences I get asked about is, why do Americans sleep with that extra sheet between the quilt and you? Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to bedrooms. In Britain and throughout the world, people need a designated room where they can go to sleep and do other stuff.
Of course.
Like reading, for example. But depending on the country that you're in, the bedroom, a word supposedly coined by Shakespeare, might take a different form. And as somebody who has lived extensively in both Britain and America, this is most certainly true of those two countries. And so without further ado, here are 5 ways that British and American bedrooms are very different.
Let's see.
Before we even get to the main centerpiece of the bedroom, which is the bed, there is one major thing that...
Hold on. So, built-in closets. Now, where I grew up, we didn't have built-in closets. We had to have cupboards in the room. But where I live now, I have got built-in cupboards. They're not walk-in cupboards, but they are built into the structure of the house. I don't know, I'm not too sure on this one.
American bedrooms have that most British bedrooms do not. And it's something contained not within the 4 walls of the bedroom, but within the wall. I'm talking about built-in closets. Now, this is my walk-in closet. I say mine, I mean it is shared with my wife, of course. I say shared, I mean it's mostly hers.
Yeah.
So you might be thinking, well, Lawrence, where do British people hang their clothes? And the answer is simple: in a wardrobe that admittedly takes up more space.
He calls it a wardrobe, but I would call it a cupboard. You can buy them in IKEA and other home places, but yeah, definitely I had them in previous places, but where I live now, we've got a built-in wardrobe. I don't know if that's normal or whether that's just where I am now, but I must admit most places I've gone to, when I've visited friends and stuff like that, we have got cupboards. I always hated it because it takes up so much space. Even in the place that I used to live, I didn't have one, and I would work out different ways of putting my clothes away, whether it be like a big set of drawers or something like that. If you've got a built-in wardrobe, miles better, miles better.
Unless it leads to Narnia. But while America may have the advantage in the closet department, Britain is still leading the way on these.
Hot water bottles.
Back in the days when I still dressed like a child, you bought me this t-shirt, so you can leave it out. Back in the days when I was still a child, I distinctly remember sleeping alongside a rubber accessory that was filled with hot water. It was a hot water bottle, and it was one...
I kind of feel that it was always more of a female thing. I've never used a hot water bottle. I've never needed one. If I'm cold, I just go right under the duvet. If it's that cold, I just wear more clothes to bed, I suppose. I've never needed a hot water bottle, but a lot of females use hot water bottles. I don't know, it is a handy thing if you need it, but you know, if you don't need it.
One of those things that I'd forgotten about until researching for this video. For anyone not in the know, a hot water bottle is exactly the accessory I just described, and its purpose is to keep you warm while you sleep. It can be a problem if you accidentally burst it, because then your parents think you have another problem and you have to go see a doctor. Now, with the advent of
that's probably why I've never used one, because I always had that paranoia that it would burst and hot water would like just be all over me.
electric blankets, hot water bottles have seen a decline in popularity. This is particularly true in the United States, but I have it on good authority that people still occasionally use them in Britain. But part of me believes that most of them just use it to refill their tea without leaving the bed. As always, when it comes to comparing British and American things, inevitably it always comes back to size.
I'm interested
and you might not be too surprised to learn that American beds, on the whole, are longer, wider, or sometimes both, than British beds. So let's take a look at how that plays out, or lays out. That's a bed pun. Sorry, let's just take a look. So the smallest bed size in the United States is the twin bed. This measures in at roughly 39 by 75 inches. Okay. And its nearest equivalent in Britain is a single bed, which is just as long as an American twin, but 4 inches.
So, if you're a kid, you have a twin bed? So like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old maybe, has a twin bed. In the UK, My kid's got a single bed. It's about the size to fit one person. Being a kid, that's all you pretty much need. So in America, is it bigger for a kid? You have a bigger bed? Or is it just the different names of the two?
Less wide. After that, America has a twin XL, which is coupled with Britain's small double. Try saying that after 4 whiskies. And then America has what is known as the full-size mattress. This is 54 inches by 75. This is almost identical to the double-size mattress in Britain. From here on out, things become like a game of chess, as both countries sort of introduce a royal family of mattress sizes. In the US, some people sleep on the Queen, not the Queen, that would be breaking news, on a queen-sized mattress, which is about 60 inches by 80. This is virtually identical to Britain's king-size mattress. But neither country ousts their bedroom monarchy there. What's better than a queen? A super queen. In the US, this measures in at 66 inches by 80. Funnily enough, the nearest equivalent in Britain is called, can you guess what it's called? Can you? It's called a super king, and it's 72 inches by 80. And so Britain wins, except it doesn't, because America also has a king-size bed that measures...
See, I think those size beds probably wouldn't fit in my room. I've got a standard double. I can't see a bigger bed fitting in my room and me still having space in there.
76 by 80. And at this point, Britain's mattresses abdicated the throne, while America's just kept going with the California King at 72 inches by 84, and that's just showing off. So perhaps this additional size is why Americans are more likely to use one of these. However massive the mattress, it's more common in the US than the UK for it to sit on top of what is known as a box spring. And while I definitely couldn't claim to be a bed connoisseur, I hadn't heard of the phrase box spring until I moved to America.
I haven't got
and
a
there's
clue
a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, we don't call it that. Apparently, we call it either a sprung bed base or a divan. I've never used those terms either, and that's because this particular contraption is much less common in Britain. And so what is this contraption? Well, a box spring is a base that sits under your mattress that sort of incorporates a spring system like you might find in your mattress. And the idea is with that additional bounce, I won't keep doing that, the springs in the mattress have a greater shelf life. In Britain, our mattresses tend to sit on harder surfaces, meaning that the springs in your mattress wear down more quickly depending on how much you put them under duress.
But hold on, what if you got memory foam? Memory foam, you ain't got no springs in it. But yeah, I've definitely not heard of either of them.
Mine were mostly fine. But so much for what goes under the mattress. Let's take a look at what goes on top. One of the most common bedroom differences I get asked about is, why do Americans sleep with that extra sheet between the quilt and you? And this is what's known as a top sheet. And while I have read that top sheets have become less popular among younger Americans, they are nonetheless still in wide use. But what purpose do they serve? Well, aside from adding an additional layer of warmth for Americans that don't know the joys of a hot water bottle, a top sheet is often used for hygienic reasons. The theory being that your body, and therefore body odour and sweat and dirt, doesn't come into contact with the comforter/quilt. And I can get behind this idea because it means you can wash the comforter less often. Who needs bulky laundry? Now, because of...
Is that what it's called, a comforter? I'm probably saying that wrong as well, definitely that. But yeah, I never heard that term before.
Americans are more likely to use this approach than British people. They're also more likely to not use a duvet cover because what's the point? In Britain, this is largely how we get around the hygiene problem, if indeed we choose to. Now, if Reddit is anything to go by, then this is the source of a heated debate. So let me know in the comments below, top sheet
you've got to have a duvet cover.
Top sheet. As for me and my American wife, we compromise.
Okay, so in the comments, put down, do you have a duvet cover? I think a duvet cover is just, it's just the making of your bed. I don't know, am I just weird, or is this the normal thing? A duvet cover for me is important.
On both a top sheet and a quilt cover for some reason. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below how you keep your bedroom. Just keep it general. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. A big shout out to all of my patrons who make these videos possible. If you would like to become a patron of Lost in the Pond, you can do so at patreon.com/lostinthepond. Until next time, good.
Different things there, you know, the walk-in wardrobe, that obviously I've got, so I don't think that's the difference. The extra sheet, I've not heard of that. The water bottle, obviously, you know, we do use them, but I've never used one. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you want to do a little bit more, hit that subscribe button because it will massively help me out. But yeah, until the next time, I'll see you on the next reaction.